Good morning. Welcome to Greenhouse Journal. My name's Raina. This channel is a space to document real greenhouse and backyard gardening life. From seed starting, harvesting, and preservation, we will encourage and show real-life backyard gardening experiences. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be meaningful.
Good morning, sunshine. I want to let you know that we are going to make some white chicken chili today because I only have one can on my pantry shelves and it is snowing outside and I need some more because that's what we're going to have for supper tonight. And I wanted to bring you along so that you could see what I'm going to be doing, and I'll give you the recipe. If you wanted to make this for your family, or if you have several people coming over, or if there's a chili cook-off at your church, go ahead and make this chili. Use a big stock pot and you will probably win because this chili is delicious. So I wanted to let you know that that's the recipe we're going with today. I'm going to be prepping. I'm not going to talk through a lot of it, I don't think. Probably will because, you know, I'm kind of a talker. So I will show you the ingredients that I'm using as I'm pulling them out and measuring them. Again, you can follow along with the description that I have with the recipe included, and I will see you in just a moment. All right, let's see where you are. Can you see inside the pot? I don't guess you need to see me so much as you need to see what's going in the pot. So for the white chicken chili, we're going to have 3 large chicken breasts. I wanted to double this because I did not want to have to do another round of white chicken chili later on in the season. And I'm hoping that this will get me at least till September, October-ish, maybe. I'm going to put in the 6 chicken breasts that I boiled in this water. So this is just chicken. Get that bay leaf out because that will not blend up well. Another bay leaf. If you don't know, bay leaves do really good seasoning a chicken. If you are boiling them, adds just a little something to that chicken. The next thing I'm going to do is put in 2 pounds of dried, well, they're not dry anymore. They were dry until I soaked them overnight. Great northern beans. I've already pre-cleaned them, and they picked out the things that did not belong. Let's see if I can get this in there without making a big old mess. See if I can use my left hand since you're on my right. Look at that. The next thing that this recipe calls for is 2 cups of frozen corn. It says defrosted, but I did not read that part until just now, so I'm going to let this water defrost it while we're here. Did you know recipes do not have to be exact? So stay right there because I'm going to get another bag because, again, I'm doubling this recipe. Where did I put my scissors? All that spills rubbing off. So rather than cupping this corn into 2 cups, I'm just going to add the whole bag because I just added this first bag and it was pretty much just 2 cups. The next thing that it asks for is 1 large onion. And to double that, I decided 3 medium onions would equal 2 large onions. So that is, of course, dicing my handy dandy chopper. Next, it says to add 3 quarts of chicken stock. Started with 3 quarts of chicken stock. I probably have 3 more quarts of chicken stock over here in this container, but I wanted to see how much I was going to need after I did the other ingredients, and then it started boiling. I may give it a little bit of chance to boil down a little bit, and then add some of this chicken stock. I'm not going to let this chicken stock go to waste, because I will can that up and put that on my shelf if I do not use it in this recipe. So the next thing is, it also says 1 quart of roasted cornstalk. I don't have cornstalk because I usually freeze my corn, or I use that cornstalk to put in my jars when I can my corn. Or I have been known to make corn syrup. So I use all of my cornstalk usually when I'm canning up corn. But the next thing is 2 tablespoons of lime juice. So I'll need 4 of those. Over the lime juice. I need 2. It calls for 2 cans of diced chilies. Well, I have 2 large cans and a small can. Actually, I have 3 small. I actually have 3 large cans and 2 small cans, but I'm just going to put 2 large. These are the 7-ounce cans of chilies, and I do mild because I am not my sister-in-law, who is from Thailand and likes things that will burn her throat from the time it touches her lips to the time that it touches the back of her throat. I'm not about that life. But her theory is, if it doesn't make you cry, it's not worth it. So I'll give her some of this and she can spice it up however she wants to. But I use the mild. I'm a big old chicken when it comes to a lot of spice. So, diced green chilies. It calls for 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, seasoned salt, chili powder, and cumin. I like to go down the list just because of the fact that if I don't, I will get lost in this recipe and I'll miss something. And I like the way it tastes from the start. So it says 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. We got this at the RV show, but it's a seasoning and salt. It's pretty much the same thing as every other seasoning and salt you get. So we're going to do, okay, I said 2, didn't I? So we're doubling it, so we need 4. I'll go back to that garlic powder. There's 4 of that. That would be the cinnamon rolls that are ready. Oh, I made it that. This isn't the only thing that I've been working on today. It's my husband's birthday. This is his birthday cake. Oh, that's really good. I can cut that off. Garlic powder season. Where was I? Okay, so now we're doing the chili powder. I have dark chili powder. I guess it's from, they roasted the chilies a little bit longer before they dehydrated them. I don't know. Not sure what makes it dark, but it is pretty dark. And the next is cumin. 2, 3, 4. Okay, the next thing is, it actually asks for smoked paprika. I have sweet paprika. So maybe it's the paprika that hasn't seen a hard life yet. So we'll do 2 teaspoons of that. So it hasn't started smoking yet. To deal with its emotional needs. It's the best guess I have. Next thing I have is Mexican oregano. Let me just tell you something. This was a hard find. I found this out in Texas. And as soon as we came back home from Texas, I found it in our local Walmart. I guess because I was looking for it somewhere else. So this is 2 tablespoons. It's a lot of seasoning in there. I gave a little extra something. And a teaspoon of pepper. Okay. I do believe I have gotten all of that in there. Now, just going to stir that up. And I'm going to add some more liquid to that. I'm going to let this come to a boil. And let all of those seasonings marry into the vegetables and the chicken and the beans. Right now, all my little pituitary gland can concentrate on is those cinnamon rolls that I just took out of the oven. So we'll be having this and cinnamon rolls for supper tonight. See you back in a little bit. Well, it's been a minute. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Yeah, it is almost time to can this up. I'm going to move you just a second. Move in this drawer. My cans are in the roaster pan over here. I want them hot because the contents that are going into the jars are going to be hot. And if you have a cold jar and hot content, you potentially could have a shock in the jar, and that could cause you to have a jar that actually trying to do two things at one time and speaking is not a good idea. A jar that pops or breaks, and you've done all this work, you don't want that to happen. In the bottom of the jar, I'm going to put, I'll pull it up here, put this much of the solids, and then we'll fill it up the rest of the way with liquid. I previously said that when I did my white chicken chili before, I ended up with the last one, there was like this much solid and the rest of it was liquid. I'm going to try and prevent that this time, just because I would like to have all of the jars with enough solids that I don't have to open up 2 jars to make one meal. And that's pretty much what I had to do with that last jar, was to open it up with the next to last jar so that I had enough content to actually have a meal and not just broth. I mean, broth is great and everything, and it is spiced up enough that it would have been great with some cornbread or a so, you know, this one I've got too much content in it, so I'm going to rectify that. Oh yeah, that's better. Where was I? I'm going to try to have enough content and product in all of these jars to where it just makes one meal. For my husband and myself, you know, 1 jar is great. Sometimes we have to open up 2 if we have missed lunch or something of that nature, and this is our supper. But the broth is good on its own. It's pretty much a really great spiced chicken broth. See if we can find some meat in the bottom of that. And I will definitely have to make 2 runs in the pressure canner for this. My pressure canner will only handle 7 quarts. And when I'm canning these quarts, I will have to double check. Whoa, you almost fell. Don't do that. But you can pressure can in pints for 60 minutes and pressure can in quarts for 75 minutes. So we're going to try and get as many in the quarts that I can. Maybe the last one I'll do in pints. It'll make a great little lunch instead of a whole meal. The reason you only want to put the content up to here is even though I've soaked those beans, they will still soak up more juice when they're being canned, and they will swell in the jars. You don't want them to run out of space. I'm going to start filling these up with broth. I'm going to fill these up to 1 inch of headspace. To make this a good white chicken chili, I'll add sour cream to it, but it does call for about, it says 4 ounces per jar of cream cheese. I like a lot of cream cheese in mine, so I will add a whole 8 ounces of cream cheese and put that in the bottom of the bowl, the pot that I'm cooking this in, and let that start melting. And blend that in with this soup. So good. So good. Whatever is left in this pot tonight will be our supper. can do this left-handed. So that's what's left. I'll add a block of cream cheese to that, and that will be our supper for tonight. It's kind of the wonderful thing about canning. When you're canning, you tend to know what's for supper. You either are really, really tired of what you're eating, of what you've been cooking all day, or you're ready to pop open one of those cans or leave enough in there so that you don't have to worry about what's for dinner, because you've already cooked it all day long. Okay, what I'm going to do is debubble this. And that's just to get any big air pockets out of the middle of the product at the bottom. Ooh, that's hot. Hot, hot, hot. When you're cleaning off the rims, you're also trying to feel for any kind of cracks or nicks in the rim there. And if you feel that at all, change the jar that you have, put it in a different jar, because that will cause your jar not to seal. I always use 4-jar lids. I know I've probably said that a couple of times, but one, they're made in the USA. You can't really beat that. I wanted to say they're made in Florida. But they seal so nicely, as long as you've done everything right. Only issues I've ever had were operator error and not lid error. And I always do this, put my rings on my towel holder. Take my towels off for a minute, put my rings, because otherwise they will scoot around and I will lose them. And I have bought a mic so that when I turn around and start talking to the other side of the window, the other side of the wall, you can still hear me. But I did not put it on today, and I do apologize for that. I hope the audio is okay. I'll soon see when I start editing this. So just fingertip tight. Mouse B, those things are tight. All right. If you ever wonder if everybody has a favorite eye on their stove, yes, and it's usually the one on the right at the bottom, closest to you. I don't know why. Just seems to be everybody's preferred eye on their stove. Remember when I said the hot content, hot jars? Well, this needs to be hot as well. All of this water that I used to heat up the jars, it can be used also to pressure can these jars. So that's what I'm using, because it's already hot. I've already, sorry about that. Okay. I've already checked to make sure there's no clogs in this hole and that everything's working appropriately. Now I'm going to lock this lid in, and I'm going to cut the heat on. It should not take long for the heat to come up to, because the hot water's in there, and so is the heat from the cans and the content. So it shouldn't take long for this to start steaming. What I am going to do is I'm going to, when this canner is finished, I'm going to take these 2 cans and add probably 5 more cans with just water in them. Probably won't put the lid on them, just to keep them from jostling around inside the canner. That's just to, even if you have 3 pints in there, you'll be able to use the canner, and it won't, it won't mess anything up. But just to prevent the jars from moving around, I like to put bottles of water or jars of water in there, just so that I can still can these 2 quarts without having to find something else or just open them up. So, but I have plenty that I'm going to use tonight, so I don't need any extra. So I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'll bring you back when this starts steaming and venting, so that you can see what that looks like. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this weekend while I made white chicken chili for my pantry. Come back and we'll do another harvest or preservation or start some more seeds. So until next time, you know what to do with the buttons below. God bless you and have a great day.